there's this thing I need to talk about with you guys. My name is Marco Amaya. I've noticed something about the Democrats and the leftists that, why is it that they're always obsessed with death? It's everything they do seems to result in death. Have you noticed this? So let's start off with the first thing, abortion. That's a leftist ideology. The freedom of choice, which is basically getting rid of the children's choice to live. So it's very contradictory. But the women apparently have a choice over their own bodies, right? That's not their body, though. The baby's not even their body. That's a different person. But, of course, the logic isn't there. But think about how abortion has led to millions of people dying. Okay, it's one of the leading causes of death. And there's 50 to 60 million babies being aborted per year in the whole world. Per year. That's multiple Holocausts. That's like worse than Hitler's Germany by many times in terms of massacre. These Planned Parenthood clinics are just massacre factories. They sell abortions like it's ice cream. That's what they do all day long. That's how their business model is to make tons of money off of aborting your child. So their business model is to extinguish humankind and make a lot of money off of it. What kind of a business model is that? You make money off of killing people? Is that not a disgusting crime? That's disgusting. That's absolutely sick in the head. And of course it results in death. Let's look at something else. Let's look at the transgender movement. I'm not against transgenders. But let me tell you something. This transgender thing is kind of getting crazy when you start cutting your balls off. And guess what? When you cut your balls off or you mutilate your genitals in any way to change the original nature of it, you're not going to have kids anymore. Okay? What does that mean? That means death. That means there's no more life. You're ending your reproductive ability. See, imagine if every human being did that. Humans would die off and we won't exist anymore. So there's another thing that causes death. What about what's another thing? Oh yeah, socialism. Communism, which essentially is the same thing. You worship the government to take care of you instead of you taking care of yourself, which is what America is all about. But socialism and communism, guess what? It's caused over 100 million deaths in the last century. That's a lot of deaths right there. That's a lot of deaths. Okay? So it's this leftist thing is like, there's people that tell me like, oh, the left and the right, they're equally bad and equally... I don't see that at all. I don't see it as equal at all. Okay? What I see on the right is actually a hope for survival of this country. Okay? If you have freedom, if you want to maintain freedom, you have to maintain free speech. You have to maintain the Second Amendment. You have to maintain the basic Bill of Rights. If you take these things away, especially those two, then you're done. You're done. Your country's done. Tyranny's taken over. You don't have any rights. They can control what you say. You go to jail if you say the wrong thing. That's where it goes down. That's the road that you go down when you don't have these rights. That's the whole reason why we have those rights to begin with, so that we could rebel against the old tyrannical English people or the English king. And it's just ridiculous that the left is against it completely. They don't care that conservatives are being banned. They love it. They just love it. They love it. They think it's the free market. No, not if it's a monopoly that controls 90% of the communication or more. And everyone is communicating through there, and you ban people off that, then it's just free speech involved here. Because where are people going to go? Especially if Google is like a monopoly and they're the ones shadow banning websites and twisting it to where their leftist links pop up. Where are you going to go? So this is what I'm saying. It's a dangerous road we're on right now. And this obsession with death is going to lead to the destruction of civilization if people don't wake up fast and start voting for people that actually care about rights, care about America, the survival of America. Another thing that causes death, open borders. That causes death. You think that open borders is helpful to everybody? That just brings a bunch of lunatics from any country. There's no vetting at all. You have terrorists that can come through easily with drugs, and that gets spread around. You get Islamic radicals coming in, bombing people. Just look at Europe. It's full of crime. The crime is skyrocketed. Where they're in a worse place now than they've ever been, basically. I mean, in terms of the modern world, because they let too many radical Muslims in their country. They're taking over now. You can't even. Tommy Robinson got arrested in England because he was exposing Islamic pedophile gang, going through a trial. He just reported on it and he got arrested. Just think about how much tyranny that is, and that's why this country is beautiful, and people need to appreciate this country before you lose this country. Okay? And so I want to promote ideas that promote life, which is the opposite of what the leftists are saying. The leftists are saying abort your child whenever you freaking feel like it, like it's ice cream at Brewster's. You just go and get an abortion. No, that causes a lot of pain. That causes the women has to go through pain, go take dangerous chemicals to their body to kill their children. They start bleeding. They suffer. Just go watch that unplanned movie. Good God, they're just aborting children like it's eating a burger or something, like it's normal. You're tearing these kids apart into little pieces, putting them in jars and selling it to whoever, or just in general making a bunch of money off of selling abortions as your business model. And these women are suffering in the spiritual damage that is causing women when you have to live with the rest of your life that you just ended that child, which was going to be a beautiful person. And not only that, when you abort one child, that child's going to grow up to become someone that's going to make more children. So you're essentially killing off generations and generations, possibly infinite generations, just because you aborted that one child. So you're that is a sinful act. It really is, because and we can't it's hard to compromise with something that causes this much death. Seriously. It's like there comes a point where we just got to be like, look, we're done with this. We're done with this crap. Because I'm not going to put up with this idea that I'm just going to compromise with people that are obsessed with death. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. So this is what I want to do, is expose the fact that, it's the Second Amendment. If the leftists, they love sitting ducks that can't defend themselves. They hate guns. They don't want you to have guns. So what are you going to do when a criminal comes up and shoots your ass in the face? You're going to call the cops while you're bleeding to death? While your head's blown open, you're going to call the cops to help you? That's what you're going to do? That's what the leftists think is going to work? That causes death when you don't have people to have concealed carry or open carry. You need to have guns to protect yourself. Stop living in this freaking lunacy, false reality that the government's going to save you. That the government has all the power to give you free money, like Andrew Yang. Oh, you're going to get free money. It's going to be it's going to benefit the world so much. No, it's going to make a bunch of dependent weaklings that depend on the government to give them food like a dog goes to their master. That's what that creates. A bunch of dependent weaklings. Dependent, just people that are weak. This leftist ideology is causing weakness and dependency. You see Microsoft and Bill Gates, they want to put it into word gender inclusiveness and trying to autocorrect or suggest a gender inclusive words so you don't offend people. You realize how ridiculous that is? That people are offended by words that reference the existence of genders, like policeman. Oh, you have to say police officer, you're going to offend somebody. The existence of men is evil. The existence of women is evil. The existence of reality somehow is going to offend people. That the words are going to offend people. You know how weak people have to be offended by genders? You understand how insane that is? That is so insane. It's like they belong in a mental asylum. That's the level of lunacy that we've gotten to in this society. That you're offended by words like policeman? Wow. Wow. I'm amazed by that. And then no wonder they're called snowflakes or libtards. Because it's like, how can you talk to these people? They don't even, they live in a false reality. They live in a world where everything is evil. And if you talk about this stuff, it means you're a hateful person. No, I love people. I'm tired of people being pushed around and bullied by these stupid ideas. Like they can't talk with the way they want to talk because they're going to offend somebody. They can't have the rights that they want to have. They can't say what they want to say. That's authoritarianism. That's what the Nazis did. That's what the Democrats are doing. I don't see that from the right. Yeah, I'm not saying that everyone in the Republican Party is perfect. No, there's sellouts in the government. There's sellouts that bow down to globalist plans. They sell out the country. They don't actually want to help the country. Yeah, sure, there's some corrupt people. I'm talking the general population, the public, the conservative speakers that are prominent. Who are the ones promoting the real racism here? It's not the right. They're not promoting racism at all. They're not. The Democrats are the ones saying, oh, this country is not going to be a white country, like Ilhan Omar. It's like, what do you mean white country? Why are you so worried about races? Why do you even care about that? It's about people coming together and loving each other and being a part of American culture and uniting, not dividing each other with these white supremacy oppressing black people and this intersectional victimization that, oh, I'm so oppressed because I'm part of one of these groups that they've made up. It's like ridiculous. We're human beings. We're all human beings. Just stop living this world where you're separate from everybody. You know? Unbelievable. It's crazy. So that's what I wanted to show people is like, look, this is insanity coming from the left that I don't see this coming from the right. I don't see it. I see people on the left saying, oh yeah, you need to shut down InfoWars. You need to shut down people that love this country. And we want them muted. It's like, what the frick? Who are these people? Who are these people? They think that you can just shut down anyone's speech because you think it's dangerous? Just because you think it's dangerous? Even though those people say nothing violent at all? So somehow, if you're a nonviolent patriot that loves this country and you love individual freedoms, you're a dangerous person and you need to be blacklisted. That's the world we want to live in? That's tyranny. I'm not going to live in a world like that. I'm not going to put up with that. Okay? And that's why I'm here today talking about it. That's why I'm passionate about it. Because the future depends on our freedoms. And if we let these crazy lunatics run our lives, and we let it happen locally with Roy Cooper, that thinks babies don't deserve any medical attention when they survive abortion. You know, he basically wants those babies thrown into a bucket and there to die and harvest their organs and make money and whatever they frickin' do over there with their dark, evil garbage. Because, I mean, you see the way they kill these babies? I mean, the babies are fighting back. It's just disgusting. They rip them apart. They vacuum them up into tubes until their head falls off, and they turn into little friggin' blood buckets that they think it's so funny. They think it's so great that you have a choice that you can kill someone else, that whenever you feel like it. It's disgusting. So yeah, I mean that you go watch that movie, learn the incredible crime that they do at Planned Parenthood, how they destroy women's lives. You know, abortion. You know, you do that to yourself. You might even take away your ability to make children one day. I'm just telling you, don't do it. Have the child. The child's a beautiful thing. You don't need to follow the lie that I'm gonna have a child. It's gonna be the end of the world if I have a child. No, it's not. It's the beginning of your life. That's what it's like to be a human being. That's what we've been doing for hundreds of thousands of years. This leftist ideology is this anti-human alien, some kind of alien idea that is completely foreign to humanity. That it's bad to have kids all of a sudden. It's bad that it's this feminist idea. That's another one I forgot to mention. Feminism. This ridiculous idea that men are evil and oppressing women so women don't get married because they want to be independent, and you end up being a lonely woman with no children. That means you're not reproducing. That means you're causing death. Another thing that the Democrats do that cause death and the end of life. So yeah, I mean, I want to show people that that's what's going on. That's what's going on. I'm against this anti-human agenda, this anti-reproduction agenda. I believe in the beauty of God. I believe in the beauty of life, the beauty of growth, and the beauty of love and humanity and men and women coming together and building a country into a strong country that isn't offended by little words and think that you have to ban people for speaking words that you don't like. That's ridiculous. And aborting babies and innocent children that they can't defend themselves. Let them live. What's the problem? You're afraid that it's going to be an inconvenience in your life? That's weakness. That's selfishness. That's not maturity. That's not what it's like to be a real man or a woman. So I want to share this with people because it's so true. And we need to wake up and stop, just stop being involved with death and start promoting life and God and Jesus Christ. So yeah, that's my message today.